Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Long Green Farms virtual chat. I am Brittany with the Discover Dairy program, and we are so excited that you're joining us today as we get to meet Farmer Alice and, of course, your adorable calves, Bee and Plum. First, this live chat is part of the Adopt a Cow program. More than 43,000 teachers and 1.7 million students joined the fund for free, thanks to our generous supporters like the American Dairy Association Northeast and the Dairy Excellence Foundation. If you'd like to join the fund next year, registration and re-enrollment open on May 1st. You can go to discoverdairy.com/adopt, and there you can either log in and re-enroll or create a new account if you're new to the program. And again, you can do that starting May 1st. Next, today's event is live. If you're joining us on YouTube or Facebook, you can see that the chat and comment sections are open. We encourage you to use that chat feature. Let us know where you're joining in from, and of course, ask all of your amazing questions. I know Farmer Alice is really excited to hear your questions and answer them, and we're just really excited to hear where you're coming from. So before we jump over to Farmer Alice, let's see who's joining us today. So let's check out that chat. And some of our first folks who joined us this morning was Miss Rizzo. They said they're so excited to be joining the live chat today, and we are excited you joined us too. So hello and good afternoon, everybody. We've got a Manacogany Middle School. Sorry if I butchered that name, but hello, we're so excited to have you. We have some folks from La Plata, Maryland. Hello and welcome. We've got some folks from Washington, D.C. Hello, excited to have you. Some folks from Waldorf, Maryland. We have so we had second graders from DC and now some third graders from DC. We've got some folks from Baltimore, Miss Munley's class. Hello. Some fourth graders from Red House Run in Rosedale, Maryland. Hello, we're so excited to have you. St. Joseph Fullerton is here. Hello and welcome. Some fourth graders from Great Mills. And let's do one or two more here. We've got Gerstel Academy kindergartners. We're so excited to have you. Hello and welcome. And how about Marshall Street School in Hagerstown, Maryland? Hello, we're so excited to have you all. Thank you so much for joining us. We cannot wait to hear all your questions. So you know where that chat is. Go ahead and drop your questions in. We're going to meet Farmer Alice, hear an update about our calves, and then we've got lots of time for questions at the end. So speaking of Farmer Alice, I am so excited to introduce you to her. Hey, Farmer Alice, how are you doing today?
Brittany, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm so excited to talk to each of you.
Oh, we're so excited to meet you and hang out with you and your girls. It looks like you're hanging out with them in their pen. So we can't wait to meet them. So Farmer Alice, we would love to hear a little bit more about you and your farm.
Yeah, so my name is Alice Crothers. My husband and I, Caleb Crothers, operate Long Green Farms here in Rising Sun, Maryland. So some things that are unique about our farm is our farm's history. So our farm was purchased in pounds from England in 1759. And it has continuously operated as a dairy since 1759. That's 266 years of milking cows on the same piece of land.
Wow.
So we're super excited to have you today and to share our farm with you, and excited to hear some of the questions that you have for us.
Wow, I cannot believe that's an amazing amount of time that you all have been providing a very nutritious, delicious product for us to enjoy the heritage and the history with that. And I'm sure you have the opportunity to share that with your kiddos and your family too, which just continues that amazing legacy that you guys are continuing on. Awesome. We love to hear that. So Farmer Alice, what does your day-to-day look like on the farm?
Starts really early before the sun comes up. So the first alarm goes off in our house at 3 a.m. By 3:30, my husband is out walking to the barn. And so his day gets started much earlier than my day does. We have three little girls that are still at home. And so most of my day starts with getting them dressed, ready, and out the door to school before I join him on the farm. But we start milking at 4 a.m. So we milk here twice a day, 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. And the first milking is at 4 a.m. So he comes out at 3:30 and starts scraping the barn and running the cows around to get milked. Most of them are already in line, so it's not a long process to run them around. As I mentioned, we milked twice a day. It takes about 8 minutes for each cow in the milking parlor. So that's a 16-minute work day. And the rest of the day, these girls get to eat, sleep, rest, drink water. They have a pretty nice life.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, 16 minutes a day. I would love a 16-minute working day to be able to relax and hang out and eat and well, hang out with all my herd mates and friends. That'd be a lot of fun. They sound like they're living the life at your farm, Farmer Alice. So speaking of those really pretty, beautiful cows behind you, would we be able to get an update on how Bee and Plum are doing?
Yes, Plum is actually right here next to me. If I'm not sure if I can get her face to come up into the camera and see, but this is Plum right here. She's licking on my fingers right now. So Plum is about 8 months old. She's about 450 pounds and about 46, 47 inches tall. So Plum has
Wow.
grown a lot over this school year. If you
Hmm.
remember, at 1 month, she was about 130 pounds and only about 34 inches tall. So she's
Yeah.
grown a lot. As a calf, she was in her own individual pen, and just recently, these ladies have moved up into the heifer barn. So they're divided by age groups, but this is a super social time for them. So they love getting to play with their friends. You can see in the background we've got some ladies over here kind of wrestling around. So this is a pretty social time for the ladies. She also has gone from drinking milk from a bottle, if you guys remember that at the beginning of the school year, and now she's eating from our total mixed ration. Our total mixed ration is put together by an animal nutritionist that works specifically with our farm to come up with a recipe, if you will, that tells us the right amount of protein and the right amount of carbohydrates and sweets and fats to give them a really healthy, nutritious diet. And so they are now eating from the total mixed ration, and they have continuous access to water in each of their pens.
Oh my gosh. Wow, she's getting so big. I cannot believe how much weight and how tall she's gotten since we first adopted her. And now it kind of looks like she might be giving herself a little bath or maybe getting a little scratch there. But I'm glad she likes to be personable and hang out with us up here at the camera so we can get to see her a little bit. We had a question about Plum. We were curious if Plum was making friends at all. Do you think that she's getting along with everyone now that she's in the big group?
She is. And actually, right before we started this recording, Plum was giving her friend a bath. So
Oh.
she is very social. She is not timid or shy. And she does very well in the group.
Oh.
So she has enjoyed group housing a lot.
Good. Oh, I love to hear that. So as a little bit of an update on Plum, now if we can find our cute tiny little Bay, Bee, any chance we can get an update on how Bee is doing?
Yes, we're going to go for a walk. Bee is tiny. So
Oh.
remember when Bee was born, she was only about 29 inches tall and weighed about 88 pounds. So very small. Now, Jerseys naturally are smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not fair to compare her to Plum because they're naturally
Sure.
just a smaller breed. Let's see. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
there she is in the background. We'll see if I can get closer without her running away. So right there is B. And right now she's probably about 30. I can't tell if she's in the camera. Yep. She's about 37 inches tall and she weighs about just shy of 300 pounds. So
Oh.
I have one little friend who's chasing me. She really wants to be in this. She wants to be in this chat too. So, oh, where did she go? So actually, we just brought B over here today to hang out with these ladies, but because of her size, we've actually kept her in another pen, just for her safety purposes. So she right now is super curious because these are not ladies that she has been socializing with just because she's been in another pen for her size.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So she's still getting to know everyone. So maybe she's a little bit more scared, a little bit more timid, and everyone's much bigger than her in this pen. So she's trying to find a safe corner, even though they all seem like they're hanging out and enjoying company with her. Oh. Hi, Bee. My goodness. So how I sorry, I apologize if you said it. So how big and tall do you think she is now?
So I think she's just shy of 300 pounds, and I think she's closer to like this 37-inch height.
Okay.
So still significantly smaller, about 10 inches shorter
Hmm.
than Plum. And again, she's a Jersey, so like that's natural for their breed.
Hmm.
Just like we as humans are, made differently. Cows are made
Hmm.
differently also.
Hmm.
So she's
And
just a
this
little bit smaller. This is my friend Anna. She really wants to be in the program. She has made herself very familiar with me. and following the camera around. So I want to make sure I introduce Anna also.
Oh, hi, Anna. We love you too. I'm sure you've been hanging out with our friends. So you're probably one of Plum's herd mates and friends. So it's nice to meet you too, Anna. Oh my gosh. So I'm glad you said that. So you made the comment that, B is a Jersey and Plum is a Holstein, and that's why they look different. That's why their sizes are different. Are there other breeds that you guys have on your farm? Like Anna here looks a little bit different.
Yeah, we do have some other breeds on our farm, but we are about 70% Holstein and about 30% Jersey. And
Okay.
so Anna here is actually a friend of ours that raises Anna here. She's not actually one of ours.
Gotcha.
She's just hanging out for a while with us. But we're predominantly a Holstein and a Jersey farm.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So we've had some really great questions coming in while we were getting a little update on Plum and B. Oh, one question real quick. So we're obviously in Plum's pen. Any idea approximately when B would be big enough to maybe move up to this pen at about a timeline?
I would say we'll give her another 6 weeks and see if she's ready, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she'll be in the same pen with these girls. So for her size, we're just gonna keep her with other animals her size. So we check her again in another 6 weeks and see if she's ready to move up. She's actually eating off the total mixed ration. Also, it's just she's in a smaller age bracket just because of her size to protect her for safety.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Very cool. All right, so we've got some cool questions coming in. Oh, we were wondering when Plum and Bay will start producing milk on their own.
That is a great question. And so they'll start producing milk. Sorry, my friend Anna is in love with my tripod also. So they'll start producing milk on their own around 2 years old, um, give or take a couple of months. So they have a little bit ways to go before they'll start producing milk.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So at 2 years old, what has to happen before they can start producing milk at 2 years old?
Well, first they have to carry a calf and they'll calve in. And so once they calve in, that's when they'll start producing milk.
Gotcha. So they'll have their first calf around 2 years old and then start producing milk. How often do they have a calf?
Not typically more than one a year.
Okay.
So we give them a little bit of a vacation right before they calve in, and then they calve in, and they're usually in the milking herd until it's ready, until about 60 days until they calve in again, but not
Okay.
typically more than once a year.
Okay. Gotcha. So about one a year. So when they're 2 years old, they'll have their first calf. They'll get to join the milking herd. Now, two years old, I guess maybe to us as humans sounds really young, right? Like we're just toddlers at 2 years old. But are they considered like pretty much full grown at 2 years old?
They are considered full grown at 2 years old. And so in human years and cow years are not the same. So like the average life expectancy for a human is like 79 years old. But
Mhm.
typically after about 8 to 10 years on a dairy farm, a dairy cow will retire. That doesn't mean that
Yeah.
they die. They just retire and they move on to a different location.
Right. No, that makes sense. Well, and I think that sounds about right, right? Like cows probably have maybe 1 year is equal to maybe like 10 years for us
Yeah.
approximately. So same like dogs, we often have heard that dogs have 1 year per 7 human years. So similar to that same concept. So that makes sense. 2 years old, they're old enough to have their first calf. And then of course their calf will do the same thing that Bee and Plum did, right? They'll grow up in the hutches first or in the pens first
Yeah.
and do the
So
same
we
thing.
have our calves and pens. We raise all of our animals on site. So they live here from the time that they're born until they retire.
That's awesome. Now, if I am I correct? I think B is poking her head out over your shoulder to the side. Is that her? Uh,
Yes, right
yeah.
back there. So she's kind of skittish. You can see the difference in size. So she's standing right there, just kind of being very
Mhm.
curious. I don't want to be in the way so everybody can see her, but she's in that far corner.
She's interested in you, Farmer Alice, but she's like, I'm gonna hang out back here just in case. Oh my goodness, she's adorable. She does get a little lost in all the whole scene. So we'll keep trying to point B out while we can, whenever she pokes her head around. Awesome. Some other questions for you. Oh, this is a great question from Miss Brant's second graders. They're wondering, for Farmer Alice, what's your favorite thing about farming? And what's your first cow that you ever had?
Well, so a little bit about me is that I actually didn't grow up on a farm, and I didn't move to a farm until I was 32 years old. And so when I was 32, I went from having 0 cows to almost 350 cows. So that's a lot overnight, and it's hard to say which one was my first because I got them all at the same time. Um, my role on the farm predominantly is raising the calves, and so that's my favorite part, is that I get to be a part of each of the calves' lives from the time that they're born. So oftentimes I get to feed in their first bottle. I have 3 girls, they help me. We have some high school girls that work on the farm too, that really help us raise our calves. It's hard to say which one's the first because we moved to the farm at the same time, and they all became ours at the same time. So
Wow. Oh my goodness. That's really cool though. So, maybe to anyone that's watching, I guess sometimes we can think to be a dairy farmer, you've got to come from a dairy farm family, and that's just like the only way you can get into it. But you're a great example of, I mean, dairy farming was not something that was on your radar at all for the first maybe 30 some years of your life. And then, you married Caleb and then had this awesome opportunity of being able to run the farm, and you jumped right into it, and had just this really awesome experience of being able to get to love the dairy cows. So anyone else that's out there, it's completely an option to someday maybe be a dairy farmer and have it as a career. You don't need to come from a dairy background to have it as your future career and job. And clearly, they're pretty cute. So I think they're really great animals to hang out with.
they're a lot of fun.
Um,
And I would tell you,
yeah.
part of the most fun of, being on a farm is really raising the kids on the farm. My kids absolutely love it. Um, we have lots of animals to take care of, which teaches a lot of responsibility, but there's also a lot of bonding that takes place between the kids and the animals. And so I'd say my favorite part of being on the farm is being a mom on the farm.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure of raising your kids on the farm, giving them that amazing experience of just, running barefoot and also being part of that experience of providing food for the world. That's exactly what you're doing. And you're letting us enjoy all the delicious dairy products that your cows contribute to. I'd be curious to everyone on the call here what your favorite dairy product is. And you can let us know in the chat and we'll see what the most common one is then. But let us know, what's your favorite? Do you like milk, cheese, yogurt, ice cream, cottage cheese, sour cream? We'd love to hear what your favorites are while we continue talking with Alice here. So let us know, but just know that their cows are the ones that are producing it for you. So it's really exciting. Farmer Alice, we've got other really great questions coming in while we wait for everyone to tell us what their favorite dairy product is. We were curious, how do cows sleep? Or maybe like, how often do cows sleep? Do they have a bedtime? We have bedtimes. How does it work for cows?
Well, so honestly, a lot of their job is just resting.
Uh-huh.
So in in the pen that we're in with Bee and Plum, they sleep on sawdust, and the sawdust is super absorbent, so it keeps them nice and dry and warm. Um, and they have this behind me is all sawdust to keep them nice and dry and warm.
Yeah.
Once they become in the milking herd, they actually have a sand bed. So each cow has their own bed, and it's made of sand.
Oh,
Um,
man.
and so, but the majority of their job from the time that they're born is to rest and sleep. So as I mentioned, a milking cow works 16 minutes a day. These ladies, their only job is just to grow, just to eat, drink, rest, play with their friends. So they can sleep anytime they want to. They don't have a bedtime. But it gets dark and it kind of gets boring when it gets dark.
Right. Yeah.
So
So they probably rest the most when it's dark, but I'm sure if we weren't in the pen right now, there'd be a lot of them laying down and just relaxing for the afternoon, but they're a little interested, right?
that's exactly right. I actually took some pictures, and if you follow me on social media, I'll post them later. But when I walked up to the pen this afternoon before we started our recording, they were all laying on the sawdust, like taking a
Oh.
snoozer. So they needed a little afternoon nap too.
I love that. Let's see. We had a lot of people let us know what their favorite dairy product was. We've got ice cream, cheese, ice cream. Wow, a lot of cheese and ice cream and yogurt, ice cream and sour cream. Oh, we love all of those. Farmer Alice, what's your favorite dairy product?
I have a lot. So I eat Greek yogurt every day. Like I don't ever skip a day of eating yogurt. But also I cook a lot with butter. So I would be
Mm.
remiss if I didn't say that I don't know I would want a kitchen without butter in it. Now if you ask my kids, ice cream is like mandatory in our house.
Right.
And we drink lots of milk. I'm sure that's
Yeah.
not a surprise to any of you, but we
Right.
drink lots of milk in our house too.
I love that. Thanks for sharing. So we have kind of been noticing these cows. They all have this like yellow ear tag in their ear. And we were just curious if Plum was in the camera right now before we answered that question. Is Plum around by any chance?
I mean, I'm checking. I gotta scan over. It looks like Plum is grass. No, Plum is at the water. Can you see the
Oh,
water behind me?
maybe if you move to the other side, we might be able to see it.
Oh,
There
do
we
you
go.
see the water?
There we go.
Plum is
Oh,
at,
okay.
yeah, Plum is at the water right now.
Aw, she's getting a drink.
Yeah. So
Nice.
that water is connected to a whale. So they have constant access to water. It never dries up. We don't have to refill it. So they can get a drink anytime they want. It's never empty.
Huh, that's cool. Awesome. So yeah, we were curious about those tags. Why do they have it looks like they have like a little orange tag and like a yellow tag in their ear.
They too. So the yellow tag actually has a number that's identified on them, and we have a computer software program that kind of helps us keep up with all of their health. So think about it like an ID tag. So in our computer software program, we can say who the mom is, who the dad is. We can see the day they were born. And we keep up with their health records too. So
Mhm.
like any vaccinations they've had, things like that, if they've ever been sick, something like that. And then the orange one is a monitor. So my husband has an app on his phone, and so he can kind of keep track of the calves or of the cows through the monitor. We also have like a neck tag on some of our cows too, and that is Cow Manager, and that's a software program. Sorry, it's going to get loud for a second. I'm so sorry. And their
You're
neck
good.
tag is like a Fitbit. So it keeps
Ah,
up with like how active they are, their body temperature, things like that. So think about it like a step counter, like we can tell if your body temperature changed, if you spent more time sleeping today or more time standing today, that kind of
yes.
thing. So each of these ear tags and their neck monitor. Oh, sorry, my friend Anna here really wants attention. Each of these are a monitoring system for our animals.
Yeah, very cool. So they're all ways of helping you out. And I love the technology that it's tracking them and sending the information to your husband's phone and he's able to see their activity and that's just amazing. That I love that you're able to kind of have eyes on all of the animals all at once just from the touch of your phone. That's really cool.
It's a great way to be able to have your eyes and ears on the animals, even if you're not physically in the barn all the time.
Right.
So it also sends alerts. So you don't have to even open the app. Sometimes you'll just get a message that says, hey, you need to go check this cow. So it's pretty
Huh.
handy to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, it looks like is Bee poking her head out now right in the middle of the water too?
Yes, B is right at the water, and right next to B is Plum at the water. So you
Aw.
can see them both just right behind me at the water. I can try to
Aw.
scoot closer if you'd like. Let me
Yes,
see.
well, we could. I know Anna's really, really wants to
Anna
be friends
really
with
is a
you.
showstopper.
Hi, guys. Oh, B is out of here.
Yeah. So
Oh my
calves
goodness.
have different personalities, just like people do. Oh, look, she's
Mm-hmm.
getting back out again. Let's see. She likes to
Oh.
hide a little bit.
Honey.
Sorry, I'm trying to get her. Yeah.
We appreciate you trying. We know she's just one of the shy ones, and that's okay. We've got a lot of amazing pictures from you, Farmer Alice, to show off B throughout the year. So that's been really wonderful. We've had, let's see, some other questions come in. Oh, we were wondering if you had any other animals on the farm. You've got lots of cows, but do you have any pets or any other animals that you raise on the farm?
Yeah, so we actually have a dog. He's a black lab and his name is Kane. And I would
Oh.
love to tell you that he's a working dog, but he's not. He's like a house cat and he doesn't even like to go outside when it rains. So the only other animal we have is our pet lab.
Strictly a pet, definitely not a farm dog that will go out and help work the animals. That's okay. Hey, we're not all built and cut out for the farm. He can enjoy the comfort of the home. Oh my goodness. Let's see. We've got some other questions coming in here. We were curious. Um, when will Plum or Bee's moms have another calf? And maybe they'll have a
So
sibling.
they both are pregnant.
Oh, I'm so
So
excited.
soon, soon, soon,
Oh.
soon.
Oh, that's so cool. Yay. So they'll have siblings. Any ideas if they're girls, what you might name them?
Well, to be really honest, I don't get to name a whole lot of the girls.
Oh.
Most of the girls are named by my children and the high school girls on the farm. It's kind of like everybody races to the punch to get it on the ear tag. So I usually take the back seat on that one. But if it's up to
Oh.
my youngest, it will be named after her in some capacity.
Oh,
So
is that how B got her name, maybe?
that is. So my youngest, her name is Baylor, and she likes to name all the calves after herself. And so B is a nickname that we have for Baylor. So we made it into a word instead of just a letter. But many of the calves on the farm are named after her.
Oh, and where did Plum's name come from?
Well, I would have to probably ask one of the high school girls. I didn't name Plum, but
Gotcha.
it's
But
not, it's so typically like when we get in like a spurt, so we might name like a bunch of calves in a row, like different fruits, like banana, apple, plum, pear. And then we'll move on to something else. So like around Halloween, we have trick, we have treat, we have jack for like jack-o'-lantern. Um,
oh,
so we just kind of get into a spurt for fun and give a whole slew of calves like names that are similar to each other.
that's really cute. I love that. We had some questions asking about the milking itself. So how much milk can a cow produce in a day, and how much milk do you guys think you produce as a whole farm in a day?
Oh goodness. So I have to do math. I don't know that off the top of my head.
I can
But
help with
I
math
mean, I would tell you about 80 pounds of
per
milk
cow.
a
Hmm.
day. And we were milking, I think this morning it was like 155 maybe. So
Okay.
I have to do math.
Wow.
We have
Yeah.
everyday pickup. So I know our tank is pretty much full every day just on our, on the number of cows that we're milking. But yeah,
Wow.
about 80 pounds of milk. And so it's also a little different because farmers measure cows' milk in pounds, whereas like
Hmm.
most people think about milk in gallons.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a conversion that takes place there too.
Right. So to help with that math for anyone that's listening, so that was for the whole herd in one day, that's 12,400 pounds of milk a day on average. But then you divide that by eight because there's 8 pounds in a gallon. That's a little over 1,500 gallons of milk a day that Long Green Farms is producing. That's amazing. Your girls are clearly happy and healthy and living the best life because happy cows produce milk, and they wouldn't do it if they weren't happy. So I love to hear that they are happy and healthy and content, and you're keeping really great care of them to produce that delicious milk. Farmer Alice, we are getting to the end of our time together, and we've really appreciated the opportunity to chat with you and Bee and Plum. We Bee has been hanging out with you right in the background, which has been great. We've been able to get some good camera time with her. Oh, and now we've got a friend who's gonna finally calm down and hang out. As we wrap up today, I would love to know a little bit more about your why. I know your story of getting to the farm is a little unique, but why do you guys do what you do every day and continue farming and continuing that legacy? What's your why?
So for me, it's an opportunity for us to have a family business, which I think is unique, but it's a different type of family business. We're all involved, and so there's not very many businesses that mom and dad can go to work and take their kids to work. So I
Mm,
think that's a unique opportunity for us. We all
yeah.
love being in nature. So even before we lived on the farm, my husband and I were like avid hikers and outdoorsy people, if you will. So I
Hmm.
enjoy being outside. Honestly, even on the days that it's cold and it's miserable, I think there's something to be said about going outside and breathing the fresh air.
Mm.
I mentioned at the beginning that the farm was purchased in pounds from England in 1759. So that's
Yeah.
266 years. And I think it's an incredible opportunity. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. It's an incredible opportunity for us to be a part of this story for the next generation. So my husband's the
Yeah.
eighth generation, and our daughters are the ninth generation. And I
That's
think
amazing.
it's a great opportunity for us to participate in the story of the farm and for the future. And of course, like we love what we do. We love our animals, we love our land, and we love
Mhm.
that we have a calling to really participate in feeding the world. So
Yeah.
everybody has to eat 3 times a day.
Mhm.
Everybody has to eat, and we get to be a part of that solution.
Oh, I love that. Oh, thank you, Farmer Alice, for sharing your passion with us and for loving it because of you, we can enjoy all those really delicious products that we were talking about earlier. And you get to hang out with some pretty cool animals. I'd say these cows are pretty lovable. Anna's proving our point with the lovable, the
She is,
lovableness.
yes. Next
Any
year,
chance,
Anna, next year.
right? Yeah. Any chance we could get one more glimpse of Plum before we tune off today? We just had some folks who were
Yes.
hoping to see Plum one
Plum,
more time.
yep, Plum is right here. I think she's in the camera right here. She's moving backwards a little bit, but you can see a side angle of her as I chase her through the barn.
Right? Aw, thank you so much, Plum and Bee, for letting us adopt you this year. And Farmer Alice, is there anything else you wanted to share with us today before we tune off?
I would just say that I'm so thankful for your teachers and your parents for allowing you to participate in this program and for giving us the opportunity to share our dairy farm with you. And I hope that you remember when you pick up a gallon of milk at your grocery store that you are supporting a local farmer. So wherever you buy your dairy products, you're still supporting a local farmer.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. I couldn't agree more. You said it so well. Thank you, Farmer Alice, for being a host farm in this program, for opening your farm doors, for us to kind of take this virtual step onto your farm and experience what dairy farming is like and take that glimpse into that life through Bee and through Plum. And thank you all for choosing agriculture in the classroom and caring so much about wanting to know where your food comes from and being in this program. We love having you. We truly and sincerely mean that. We are passionate about making sure people know that the dairy food comes from farmers like Alice and not just from the grocery store. So when you're looking back, know that you know a dairy farmer now. You know Farmer Alice, and reach out if you have any questions. It's always good to ask a farmer, not Google. So make sure to do that and reach out and enjoy the program next year. So enjoy your summer, everyone, and we hope to see you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.